Be more grind, rise, shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and biz building walls like bricks. Motown soul rap mixed in the fix. Shiny cover spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the folder. Black biz bright spotlight in the dark. Hustling hard, lighting sparks in the park. Beam on news, where we breaking glass ceilings. All black everything, income healing. Donnie Glover, flip the script, let's go. Black Wall Street, roadmap, be more flow. Real talk, stock rise, dreams ain't looking hollow. Blueprints, handshakes, enemies wallow. Baltimore kings, queens, crown on the throne. Legacy built, stone by stone. Headlines, deadlines, moves in the background. Politics, money clips, elevate the town. Black beard strategist, wealth can't be missed. Twist the plot, make the whole world twist. Beam on news, success we inhaling. Victories, iron rest, no detailing. Donnie Glover, rise to shine, let's glow. Focused on green, black, Wall Street in tow. Be more grind, rise, shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and biz building walls like bricks. Motown soul rap mixed in the fix. Shiny cover spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the folder. Black biz bright spotlight in the dark. Hustling hard, lighting sparks in the park. Beam on news, where we breaking glass ceilings. All black everything, income healing. Donnie Glover, flip the script, let's go. Black Wall Street, roadmap, be more flow. Real talk, stock rise, dreams ain't looking hollow. Blueprints, handshakes, enemies wallow. Baltimore kings, queens, crown on the throne. Legacy built, stone by stone. Headlines, deadlines, moves in the background. Politics, money clips, elevate the town. Black beard strategist, wealth can't be missed. Twist the plot, make the whole world twist. Beam on news, success we inhaling. Victories, iron rest, no detailing. Donnie Glover, rise to shine.
Morocco.
Yes, sir.
Mafia Shakur.
Yes, sir. We back.
Yep.
Hey, you know.
Planet Wells. Hannibal.
What up,
Samoa
dog?
made some smart comments, man. What's up with dude?
What they say?
He didn't like the intro music. Samoan. Thank you, Samoan.
Yeah.
Candy Bar love it, though. We love you too, Candy Bar.
Yeah.
I just looked up something that years ago, I remember hearing a little bit about this and whatnot, and I get a little clearer understanding now since we talked about this. But establishing your roots as Native American and other things that we're talking about. I remember I used to hear a terminology of the $5 Indian. Mm-hmm. And from what I'm finding, that during the Dawes Rolls, you had white guys that were out there on the plains, they're trying to gobble up that land. And that's what they did when they started taking all that land out there and telling the Native Americans, like, no, we're going to give it to y'all individually. Great white father says, it's got to be split up. So there were many whites and white guys, it looks like, that paid $5 under the table to the people that were keeping the Dawes Rolls, and they would register them as Native American. And that way they could take advantage of some of the kickbacks and some of the land and other goodies and whatnot that today we're talking about African Americans that are Native American and the hoops they got to jump through to try to establish their heritage and their entitlements, and they're catching heck everywhere they turn. But back then, that white man could easily take that $5, and now you got offsprings of these folk that are carrying themselves out as Native American throughout history.
Now, before we go on a little further, gentlemen, have you guys met Morocco before?
That's my first time.
First time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen Hannibal before,
Yes, sir.
a couple of years ago.
Well, tell them who you are, Morocco.
Okay,
Where are you?
Native Atlantan, Vietnam combat vet. I ended up as the director for the state of Georgia Labor Department Office of Veterans Programs. And, I'm fighting for veterans benefits and widows and children of veterans for benefits and claims and things that they're entitled to that we don't know are available to us because they don't let us know and tell us about these things at the VA. And so I've been retired now 27 years, but I'm still doing the same things that I was doing back then. I wrote a book about my experiences in Vietnam.
We call them Sarge, y'all.
Yes,
Bring it
sir.
back home to Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
And I ended up in 1992, asked to come to Washington, D.C. to testify before the House Subcommittee on Oversights and Investigations. They were trying to fire me on my job because I would go out in the under the bridges and crack houses and find these veterans out there that are lost. And I'd get them into the office, and I would work them back in the mainstream, get them a check coming, get them cleaned up, get them into treatments, etc. And the white folk didn't like these broke down, non-bathed folks sitting up in their pretty offices, but they would wait all day to see me because they know I'm going to take care of them, and the word got out on the street kind of thing. So now they were trying to fire me, and so this guy says, you need to come to Washington and testify. So I go up there. So I testified before Charlie Rango, Maxine Waters, Kennedy, and about 6 others. And the audience was packed in 1992 with people like me or that had independent programs helping veterans. And we all were catching the heck. So when I got up to testify, I said, I got nothing to lose. They're trying to fire me, so let it hang out. So I told the committee that my superiors, commissioners and deputy commissioners, were misappropriating the funds that they send down in the beginning of the year for us veterans to be able to do our jobs. So Maxine Waters said, just a minute, Mr. Coleman, are you telling this subcommittee the money we send down, your superiors and commissioners are misappropriating those funds? Is that what you want to tell this audience? And the audience, you could hear him like, oh, she's going to jack this brother up. So I said, well, Madam Chairman, perhaps I misspoke. She said, I thought so. Would you like to clear it up? And I said, yes, Madam Chairman. I said, I misspoke when I said they're misappropriating the funds. More succinctly, they're embezzling it. And when I said that, all heads go loose. They started bringing gravels and everything. And when they finally got order, it was a guy named Tony Hawkins that was the Minority Affairs Director for the VA. Maxine Waters looked at Tony Hawkins and she said, Mr. Hawkins, have you heard what Coleman is saying? Is it true? He said, well, man, we heard rumors. And she said, all right, I want you to check with your superiors at the VA and get back and let me know. And he said, yes, ma'am, I'll get it to you next week. She said, no, I'm calling a recess, and you go into those phones down front and you call your superiors, and after the recess, you will come back and testify. So he came back and he told her I was telling the truth. So
And then, Morocco, we want to reel you in at some point because it looked like you're going.
This the end of it. This the end of it. So Rangel appointed me as national chairman for Black Veterans Employment and Training nationwide in 1992, along with 11 other committees. So I've been on that on that board and working with congressmen and senators throughout the country, helping veterans get the benefits. That's it.
Now, see, you ain't even telling my favorite part. My favorite part is that when he found himself in Vietnam after being a U.S. Olympic hopeful, next thing you know, he's in Vietnam. We just added Big Chief to the stream. He found his first day in Vietnam during the Tet Offensive, and that was what the Asian New Year, Chinese New Year.
Yes, the Asian Lunar New Year, January 31st, 1968. I landed on that day, and 10 hours after I got there, all hell broke loose, and that was the beginning of the Tet Offensive. More people were killed on that day than any other time in the 10-year war. And I didn't have any weapons. I was in a holding area being processed. So that was my introduction to Vietnam. Yeah.
All right, well, we got Big Chief back. Big Chief, you with us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here. Huh?
So welcome back.
Good to be back. Yeah. My bad. I ain't got my camera on. I'm over here eating.
That's cool.
What you eating, man?
I don't want. I'm in Texas, so I'm in barbecue. I don't want the vegans to get on me. I'm burnt in brisket, and spare ribs. I don't want the vegans.
I got a question for you, Big Chief.
Yes, sir.
As you have made, as you've done a lot of research and made a lot of presentations, what have you found that we as a people generally are willing to believe? Because like when you look in these comments, there are people who are just adamantly anti anything we talk about on the show. And I want to thank you. I thank you some time ago, but I want to thank you for, and Mafia and I were talking about this. We've created a safe space here to talk about our indigenous affinity, our indigenous connections, because it's not always, as we can see in the chat, it is not always embraced by everybody who looks like us.
Right. Well, I mean, it was psychological warfare. The Africanization of us, what the discussion of the loss of land, well, that was strategic. And that was strategic. So for the people out there today, I remember when I first came, 2020, this American Indian, saying you American Indian or have Indian heritage, we wasn't even on the list. If you go up there, you're gonna read Pan-African Hebrews, Moors, Nubians, gods of earth, but we wasn't even on the list 5 years ago when I got here. One of the reasons I feel like is because when I got here, I'm like, they all fighting each other. The Indians all fighting each other, but ain't nobody challenge these other doctrines or school of thoughts. So I won't disrespect nobody. No one challenged these other schools of thoughts. And so I made it my business, and that's how I grew my reputation, by going to go challenge, and not just challenge, just anybody that's from the chat. But I want the big dogs. Yeah, since a rookie, I've been a heavyweight champion since a rookie. I knocked out Jabbar in my rookie year. Yeah, ain't nobody see that one coming. You got the Indians even over there like, I don't know about this. You can put it up. It's on plenty of their channels. They were sitting back eating their popcorn, trying to see what's gonna happen. And I went in there and demolished him. Looked like Terrence Crawford did Canelo. But now today, to the naysayers, well, today is more people who are coming from this side who are back, taking unleashing the shackles off their brain, as we have been psychologically enslaved, and they're realizing, through genealogy and through a lot of the game that they've been picking up, that who they are, and growing a more affinity and appreciation for American and being American. So I'll say to the naysayers, it's more of us than y'all.
Well, one of the things is that, the divine contradiction is that you have to go outside your scene, okay, to accept another philosophy. But yet in your own family, you have natives, right, aboriginals in your own family line. So you have to, the pressure on the thinking or the psychological mind is tremendous, because all the images you're seeing from the so-called popular society is dictating one story, but yet in your own family, you got people who are
Correct.
aboriginals. So that's the dilemma.
But that shows the programming. That
Correct.
shows,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
Absolutely.
Brother Dunny brought up roots. And
Hmm.
it's funny, I was having a conversation with Judge Joe Brown, and he brought out how they brought film to West Africa, and they created a film so that they can draw the people into this unity, this collectiveness, to become familiar with the connection of an African and people in America. And so I asked him, I said, ain't that the same thing they did with Roots? You know what I'm saying? So y'all,
which was plagiarized.
exactly, and they sued Alex Haley for that. Yeah, he got sued for that.
Harry
But
Cooper.
yeah, those type of things. But you also had other philanthropists out there, especially during the student movements leading into the 70s, where the Black and Third World Coalition, which was created in 1967, that's how we even get the term political term Black put on us. And Judge Joe Brown sat in the room, and he could tell you everybody who was in there. Nation Islam was in there, and others. And they decided they were going to have a third world coalition with people in the Caribbean, and also connections in West Africa and some in South Africa. So, yeah, I think that's why a lot of people fought against it, because that mental enslavement, when we leave out the house, because when we've been told we're Indians, we're at the age of understanding. That's 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. But we go into the world and we go to school, and they're teaching us U.S. history, U.S. geography, and the history that they're giving us. If we put down what we learned at home, according to the school system curriculum, we will be wrong. We'll fail. So they train us through these 12 steps, through these 12 grades. And by the time they done with us after school, they're done. Like Harvard, when they took the money from African studies and African American studies out of the school. So right now, that's a real big thing. They defunded them. Harvard started off as a missionary school where they wanted to train up people that look like us and send them back to their communities. Well, today the colonization is over with. It worked. It's on autopilot, because now, the parents will tell you something different or otherwise.
Yeah.
So I leave it at that.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot for people to deprogram from. So if I have to deprogram from religion, now I'm not African American. Now I'm not. It's just a lot for people to separate themselves from.
Right. That's why it's important for people who do have platforms and microphones that we meet people where they are. Just because they're,
Correct.
whatever their school of thought they're in at that time, it's a journey, it's a marathon. So we don't frown upon them for that. We encourage them and hopefully empower them. Give them some time. It's plenty of people that met me in the past and came back. And y'all know George Macon. Y'all familiar with Brother George Macon?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, he out of Philadelphia. They do the programs going to the African American Museum, different trips. They fund it. They nonprofit, so he's doing good work over there. But he told me 5 years ago, he said, if the things you saying are true, then Dr. Ben and John Henry Clark, did they lie to us? And that's hard to tell, you know what I'm saying, the person. But now he came back after 4 years later, and he found himself in the story. And when he found himself in the story, he was in Georgia, and he found his family fighting in the wars of Fort Mims, Horseshoe Bend, and Fort Jackson. And he see that the agriculture and that the population of the slaves rise at that time during this push down to the South. And so he said, well, why would they need slaves from Africa when they already have a population of people here? So what it looks like happened is I'm looking at my family records, they enslaved the people that were in these territories. It wasn't other people brought over. And so he came back not to apologize, but it's just example I want to give about, all the arguing and debating. What's the debate? Meet them where they at and let them walk their journey. I'm sure you'll find them if y'all go in the same place. You'll bump back, y'all cross paths. And he came back and he told me, you were right.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to that.
Well, one of the things that happened during that time period of awakening was in South Africa, they had the struggle with apartheid. So a lot of brown-skinned people in America who are desperately seeking some identity saw on the nightly news things that had happened to them here. So naturally, they felt an affinity for that type of situation. So they quite naturally identified solely with an African theme, okay? Because they were already disenfranchised from their own.
Yeah, they showed us enough commercials too with the little African kids and
they're all
that's pain bonding over
correct.
pain and trauma. So yeah, but like Topcast was saying, meeting people where they at. I think even though people have opposing opposite views or different views, we still come to learn. You know what I'm saying? We still come to learn. So it's just the deprogramming aspect that it make the emotional outburst because it's these strong topics.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. He made a point about them enslaving them tribes by like Fort Mims and down there at Horseshoe Bend. That's personal to me because that's where my family come from, and that's what my research been for like the last 20 years. And
yes,
and that's what happened. You know what I mean? They came through and they was from South Carolina to Georgia. They was enslaving all the tribes west. I shared a document in here. One good thing that Alabama documented the names of the tribes in the remaining 18 counties. And if you got ancestors in these last 18 counties, you got a chance maybe to find the name of your tribe, the actual name. It's because they named them by the names of the streams and the creeks. So it ain't when you say the Creek Nation, you talking about hundreds of tribes.
Right. I got you. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, and the Creek have an origin, so you can look up the origins of the Creek. They have an origin. So when you go, Muskogee is just basically a confederation. A lot of the tribes, there was a guy named Franz Boas. He was the anthropologist over here that labeled a lot of these names for geographical. So they didn't go knock on doors and say, "Hey, who are you?" Nah, they just classified you based off of the geographic you in. You feel me? And they don't, they didn't feel no type of way about it because it's in his works. He told that he didn't ask. He might have asked another tribe or someone he was communicating with, but he never asked the people. So yeah.
So that's why people named by the rivers and stuff around them, like surnames.
Right. Now that's deep too, with certain surnames, Hill, lakes, rivers,
yeah.
Things of this nature. So that is some truth in it. These people did occupy lands that were near creeks and so on, like the Ogeechee River. So they named those people the Geechees. You know what I mean? So things like that.
Yeah, I understand that.
Can anybody tell me, like you're talking about this right now, what is it about that Native American that's so powerful that his names are still all over this country? The rivers, the towns, states.
It's us because this was our land.
Yeah, exactly.
So those names are us. Native American don't come until the 60s. So if y'all remember, they came out with a movement called AIM. This is during the Civil Rights Movement.
Yeah.
They came out with a move, AIM, American Indian Movement. And but these people weren't Indian. If I can show my screen, you know, I know, like he said, put it on the screen. He wants to see the sources.
Right, all the time.
Y'all don't mind if I share?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you home with us, bro.
All right, I feel like it too, man. I feel like
Absolute.
it. I always gotta give Uncle, you know,
Big up.
John Horse right there. John Horse down in Cahokia, they down in Texas. I mean, this is Mexico. I'm sorry. This is Cahokia. Cahokia, Texas, was gonna be west, but Horse returned to Mexico. But this is Mexico. This is how they was dressed. These are the original people that was down there on what they called the border. This is a photo of his grandson. This John Horse's grandson. He's a Jefferson. He's a Buffalo Soldier. So this is how we know that the Buffalo Soldiers and the Seminole Scouts are together. But when we going into the politics for as the Native Americans, right? Through schooling, through programming, they did us the same way with the AMA.
Yeah.
They created, after Reconstruction, they put up more money than the Freemasons Bank on creating these schools. Today they call them HBCUs. All right. And so Fisk University, Harvard, I was just out there in Boston, and Hampton University. But something interesting in Hampton. See, this is on their website. They said the thing to be done was clear to train selected Negro youth who should go out and teach and lead their people first by example. Now, they want to indoctrinate you and then send them back out there. What a lot of people don't know is we know Native Americans don't wear these type of clothes. So what happened was the university started to assimilate Native Americans. They taught them English, how to dress, general etiquette. That means sitting at the table when you eat. That means eating without your hand, eating with silverware, plates, and you know, that's all our culture. And so right here, we see them and we see who the teachers are. We're teaching them. We brought them to the Carlisle School. We're teaching them. So even when we go into the annual reports of the U.S. Department of Interior, they tell us that we taught them basket weaving. These are all the things they're teaching them. And it breaks down every place that they went. Indian Territory, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan. And girls were taught to do what? Care for dairy products. They taught them how to hold bead work. All these different things that today the natives, you know, claim is the, you know, right here you have playing Indian, playing Filipino. Interaction at the Carlisle School. So these in the Spanish American War, 1898, I'm sorry, to 1902, they fought in the Philippines. Those people that was brought over, here go the war right here. Those people that were brought over, well, they became here they go right here. Little Brown Brothers. Howard Taft, 27th president, deemed these Filipinos that they were bringing over and after the Spanish American War as Little Brown Brothers. Today, Mexicans call themselves brown. They call them the brown people, but Little Brown Brothers was coined by them. This is at the St. Louis Fair, and this is a village that was. This is not a real picture. This is something that they created. What's important about that is we can go here and see the Seminole. We can go to the Seminole and actually see them. So we got pictures of John Horse, his nephew. We had these pictures. He go to Seminole Scouts right here. You did not want to mess with you ain't want no problem with these guys right here. So yeah, this is them. This is who created the American. He go us down here, you know, from football and all the sports to the rodeo. Now I say these things because I went down to Big Cypress, the Seminole Nation. I went down there to the Seminole Nation, and they were formed in 1936. What's interesting about that what's interesting about that is that the people who created it, like we'll see pictures, images like this. They'll tell us this the Seminoles and Muskogee tribes of Southern Florida. This is what they tell us, right?
Yeah.
But what they don't tell us is that this is a postcard held in Chicago, Illinois, for 26 Seminoles living well in a Seminole Indian village at the Chicago World Fair. All of these are pictures from World Fairs.
Right.
Set up, yeah, these
Right.
they set them up. So right here, here's a bus tour at Silver Spring, the Seminole guys. It became an attraction. It became an attraction, even with right here, St. Augustine, alligator wrestling. So this was something that first went down over. We'll get there. This picture is, they put it in black and white, but it's actually from the 1990s. These pictures of them alligator wrestling. But when we go to the Library of Congress, he go a real swimming alligator wrestling at St. Augustine Farm. This is the first place that they wrestled alligator. So they took all our customs and taught them and put them on them and labeled them on them and gave us, something outside of it. Now, how did these Seminoles become? This is Stanley Smith. Stanley Smith went to Florida in 1943 by the Muskogee, Wichita, and Seminole Baptist Association, based out of Oklahoma. All right, based out of Oklahoma. When he went down there, he got them Big Cypress Reservation, January 2nd, 1945. 37 other people followed. And that same year, he transferred his affiliation to the Southern Baptist, his baptism number 197 Florida Seminoles. Now, what's important about this is in politics, they had something called Reconstruction, a New Deal. This guy is Billy Osceola. Osceola is my real family member. Now, we'll get to this. His real name is Billy Powell. He probably never heard of nobody named Osceola. That's why they say he got the name when he was an adult. Now, this guy was the first elected chief of the Seminole tribe. Now, he born in 1920, but he's the first elected. What's the difference? Well, traditionally, it goes through the bloodline. The next era up. Now, when they came with the 1934 Reorganization Act, they had people sign up for charters. If you want to do a nonprofit, you're gonna sign up and get a charter, right? When they got the colonies, they chartered the colonies. They had Virginia, Cumberland, they had to get a charter. Massachusetts Bay, Plymouth, all of these people had to get charters. So they came out with a position they could get them a charter. This was a New Deal, an economic relief program aimed specifically at helping Native American communities during Great Depression. Now, what they wanted to do was the American government waged war on tribal groups, driven them from their ancestral land, forced them to culturally assimilate. By the 20th century, many surviving Native people in destruction of barren, isolated reservations. In 1920, they averaged just $100 per capita, compared to $13.50 of the average American. So the government is going to step in and get them a deal. The deal through the Indian Reorganization Act was for them to come in. So about 160 tribes adopted this constitution. Adopted written constitutions, meaning those old treaties and everything, they no longer apply to them. Why? Because one, it wasn't these people. So what's going to happen is, like this guy, this is William Keeler. Who is he? He is the first elected principal chief of the Cherokee. So after they reorganized the tribes, YT people are gonna own the charter to these new tribes. They're gonna use the Native Americans as a buffer class to be outside of, to operate outside of the jurisdiction of the United States. So that's why you go to the Chickasaw, every one of the YT people are running. They didn't come in by paying $5. That was a hook they put on the $5 to be an Indian. No, white folks own these tribes. When I walked in the big ciphers in the Seminole Museum, I was greeted by nothing but YT people. As I walked all the way around the trail, every person I passed was YT. I never seen a native in there. So this what they call new opportunities and threat. Right here you got the American Indian urban relocation, where they came in the BIA 53. They're gonna push them out the reservations and start sending them to cities like Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, Cleveland, Seattle. At the same time, you have something in history that's called white flight, and we're going through what is the Great Migration at this time. So the historical background behind it, the Native American in the 1960s and 70s, understanding key elements of experience of Native American culture, understand the text American Indian writers produced. So this was the first wave of American Indian Native American literature. They don't come into the 60s and 70s. That's why none of them wrote the stories, not even about them. So House Current Resolution 108 was to end the status as wars of the United States. With the resolution, the House Representatives and the Senate announced their support for a new Indian policy termination. Under this policy, Indian status as government wards would be ended as soon as possible, and Native Americans would assume all the responsibilities of full citizenship. So they're bringing them into the United States as wards, no different than the 14th Amendment or the second Constitution, what they want to call it. So this termination of the tribes and guardianship and recognition of tribes and government of U.S. jurisdiction of tribal lands, in addition to the Indian tribal rights as sovereign nations, because in the Termination Act, they're going to say, none of y'all in it, we're not going to put any funds in it unless you adopt this new law and come get rechartered, which they will be under the YP man, because it's his charter now. They never were in a tribe. And this is us going 6 million Indians forced off ancestral lands. 1870s right here, go back to the African Negro. This was the white flight exodus movement. Brown versus Board of Education. Now this time, you had the American Indian urban relocation. So in response, BIA voluntarily, they made a program for Indians to move to rural metropolitan areas like we just talked about. So when we come into the 20th century, these people, this is the Moor Zionist temple of Moorish Jews. A lot of their congregation was from St. Kitts, Abyssinia, Egypt, different places like this here, West Indies. And this is the commandment keeper. They go Rabbi Matthew right there. He come from St. Kitts. He told them niggas he from Ghana. It's all good though. Garvey come down. And all of these people are coming, giving us an identity. Shout out to the Nation of Islam. I was in Harlem, Mosque Temple number 7. But they also came, told us we was Asiatic. And they even convinced people to cut off their surnames, which our inheritance is in the surname. Yeah, if we don't have our surnames, then we can't tie ourselves back to the land. So here go the Cherokee Constitution. The modern Constitution of the Cherokee came in September 5th, 1975. That's the modern Constitution. The original one in 1827, the Constitution of the Cherokee Nation was formed by a convention of delegates. We're talking about two different people. So if you already got a constitution, they're going to come back after they get this new charter. They're in cahoots with the U.S. now. And right now they come in 75 and make a new constitution. And in 1999, they created another constitution. And in 2003, the Cherokee people voted to accept it. The new Constitution was enacted in 2006. This is how recent it is.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I wanted. Yeah, but this this whole play isn't gonna start until the 20th and the 21st century. That's why you see powwows. Oh, we're celebrating our 22nd powwow, 25th powwow, 60th powwow. But damn, y'all been here for hundreds of years, y'all. That was y'all told us, you know. But yeah, man, I ain't gonna go too far in it. But right here, back in the student movements, you had the Chicano walkouts. We ain't gotta go through that. We talked about that. He go to occupation of Alcatraz. This is when 89 Native Americans occupied Alcatraz. Now, they said that they wanted to teach their own history. Same thing they said with John Henry Clark now. They went in and said, due to the failure of ASF to reform, the African descendant scholars occupied in 69 in a meeting in Montreal, where they wanted to tell their own story. So they're going to say, all right, we're going to let y'all do it. No different than when the Black Caucus was created. When they came in and they spoke with the president, they spoke with Nixon. Well, that ain't no different with BLM meeting with Hillary Clinton when she ran. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, exactly.
the lady of BLM, I think she's out of St. Louis or one of those states, she becomes a politician after that. So all of these people are going to get their seats and hold it. And some are passed down to their children. Now, AIM is what they came up with for them. And so it was a guy named in 1969, Banks met Russell Means, and they became AIM's most prominent leaders. Now, these are the tribes, and they say we moved on to Alcatraz because we felt that Indian people need a cultural center of their own. Indians people have not had enough control of training their young, and without cultural center of their own, we're afraid that the old Indian ways may be lost. What Indian ways? Because their own scholars tell you that they don't know their history. They don't have any documentation on themselves. They ain't coming here and we say, hey, let's go genealogy, let's go grandparent for grandparent and see who get the furthest. They don't have no paperwork on them. So here's Russell Means. This is the guy that's going to start the movement. But we find out he's not even Indian. Yeah, he's not even Indian. Right. He got another lady that played a real important role, Maria Cruz. At the time, they called her Satin Littlefeather. She was American, Native American civil rights actor. But she was accused by a family and journalists as falsely claiming Native American heritage. She fabricated a Native identity because she thought it was more prestigious to be Native American than Hispanic. Keeler searched records, Littlefeather family go back to 1850 and did not find any evidence of Native ancestry. But they're leading the political movement. These are the activists. We got Dr. King and all these other. Jesse Jackson, who's a tribal member of the Cherokee Nation, coming out here coining terms like African American. Right. So right here, Russell Means. We find him in the book Russell Means, The European Ancestry in Militant Indian by Helen Hagen. We find out that his father, Eugene Russell, and his paternal is listed on the 1886 as Austin Means, 40, white, born in Maine. Not only that, Nellie, the daughter, and whose German father name had been changed to Hoxter to Hawkins, and from Charles to Allen, a white cattle driver that was born in LaGrange, Indiana. Emma Hawkins on this maternal side. His great grandmother, Nettie Annie Mother, his daughter Susan Bissonnette, born at Fort Laramie, and the union between a mixed blood French woman named Julie. No, the claim is that Susie was part of the Lakota, and she transferred her legacy to her daughter. But and that her mother was full-blood Crow. Well, we find out that was a lie. Through proclaimed he was Lakota, Russell Means was in reality a European descent of mostly French, Indian intermarriages on both paternal and maternal sides. These are the people that led these movements and that got the political name Native American attached to these people. My bad for taking up too much time.
Nah, man. So immigration, integration, and infiltration been a problem before segregation. It's just a continuum of the same thing.
Yeah, the segregation, when they integrated, they wanted to bring everybody inside the U.S. jurisdiction. They was gonna close it down. They like we letting too many people. It's too many people operating on the outside of it. Howard Taft, 27th president, once he became president, he put out they put millions of dollars to quote unquote civilize these people that they're bringing over from the Philippines, who gonna later in 24 you get your citizenship act where they're gonna bring them in and classify them under Native American. Now all of these languages in the 1800s are classified as Oriental. Now in 2011, Obama took out Oriental and Negro, said they no longer fit. But LBJ 1965 in the Integration Act, he brought over Africans and Orientals. So they take the Oriental out so you can't trace it. They take the Negro out so you can't trace it. But Oriental languages is what they call today native language. But when you look into, we'll take the Cherokee. The Cherokee is the largest tribe in America. But they only have about 200, 250 people that speak the language. They're at school trying to teach these people this language. Why? Because it's not that authentic tongue. We learn language out the house. We learn language from the house. Our mom, our family, that's how we communicate.
Right.
But they have to go to school. They have grants from the government for them to teach this. They're looking for people to come in. So you go in, it'll be a YT man who is teaching Native Americans a language that is supposed to be theirs. Wow. When they supposed to be teaching him their language.
Yeah.
Crazy work. But
I don't think we understand the educational aspect, the military aspect, the spiritual aspect, the political aspect of all just this information in itself.
Well, one of the things in Hawaii is that the Hawaiian elders have told me that they grew up in a situation where if you spoke Hawaiian, they cut out your tongue. So, these are these colonists are people who will go to lengths that we can't even, you know what I mean? We can't even see, we don't see life that way. But they do. They do. So they wanted to wipe out the Hawaiians from speaking their own language. They're struggling now to get their language back. Right? So we see that it's important to the colonists, just like the land is important to the colonists, because that's what they're after. That's what they're after. And they're very serious about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of land in America that's not occupied. And
correct.
They don't have. So if y'all see in Scotland where the tribe or the chieftain of Kabula or something like that, they had the people had to go back and find a law from 150 years to move them off of that land. The land really don't even belong to them. Mm-hmm. It belongs to someone, but that person not there. That person is somewhere in the world, or their descendants are somewhere in the world with a mindset or a reality that was handcrafted and molded for them. So they don't even know that they are the true heirs of those castles or that land. Okay. If they had law today, they would have been got them out of there. Them people stayed there for a while. And once they moved over off their property line, they had to go find a 150-year-old law. Here in America, the Native Americans say, we want our land, we want our land. They have the lowest for as political position. Even with the BIA, they don't mean anything because most of them are just carrying what you call certificates of Indian blood. So it's like a card. It's no different than a mega church who has a large congregation. They're signed up under that status. And so that pastor can get paid for everybody that's in their congregation. You feel me? It's no different than signing up like members to a nonprofit, you know. Yeah, and you can get grants, you can get certain things from the government. So that's their whole reality is made up. I land on this. I went to the Grand Canyon. I got out. I said, man, it's feel like a military base because as soon as you drive in, your phone gonna go on SOS.
Mm-hmm.
They shut it down. Everything shut down. Then you have to walk. Once you get in, you pay. You have to wait. They're gonna get you on the bus, and you can only go to the location that they're gonna take you to.
Correct.
So you're not free to roam. But it's like $60 to $75 a person. Now, it's out the U.S. jurisdiction because it is quote unquote a Native American reservation. But it was about 200 people there that day I was there. Now, if you want to take a helicopter ride, that's even more money. If you want a sky view, there's more money. So all of the money that they collectively making, but when you pass by, the Native Americans are beyond poor. I wouldn't even say third world. I'd say second or 1.5 world. You know, that's how bad they're doing. But they're making so much money, so we know it's not them. But the YT people who they're in the suits and the ties, they have the charters. And so they're making the money. And they're using the Native American as a buffer zone to put someone here because they know they weren't here. So they need someone to take our place. So they use them as a buffer zone. They keep the money and they, sprinkle it out a little bit where they can. Some, but the people are living beyond poverty. There's no grass. There's no way to raise cattle. There's no way to do any type of agriculture. Talking for these Southwest tribes, Lakota, Sioux, Dakota. Like I went to their reservation in Arizona, and I'm talking to them, and they live real poor out there, but they have these attraction sites, these tourist sites that people are paying a lot of money. So the question arises is, where's the money going? And if you are really in charge, why don't it show? Politically, culturally, I always ask Native Americans, have any of y'all ever dressed up, told baby, go put on that pretty red dress with them 6-inch heels, you got your tuxedo on, shirt tucked in, and y'all finna go valet at a 5-star Native American restaurant. It never happened. Why? Because we don't even know what they culturally eat. They don't even have a food culture here. You've never passed by a Native American not even a fast food restaurant. So we dominate culturally. For as the food, for the sports, for as everything. Mm-hmm. The Native American don't even have a chance up against us. And I had a lot of conversations with, quote unquote, their big dogs or their, the elders or whatever. And they were respectful, so I was. But I broke that down to them. We don't see our culture. And they admitted that they don't have the information.
I feel that. Before you, I don't know how much time you got though, but what you know about the Chop Tank tribe on the Piscataway?
Those would be more up north tribes. Me personally, it's different than down south. Up that way, yeah.
Right.
And they a lot of times like to undermine those who are not on the reservation, those who not card carrying, you know, and they'll really transfer that same prejudice that the quote unquote Native Americans in their tribe do to them, how they do the darker skinned people. Well, they'll turn around and turn that same prejudice to us, because we're not card carrying, you know. So I really don't get into them. And I give you an example. In 2021, I was gonna do a powwow, and I titled it Powwow. Well, the people contacted me and said, "Hey, we're gonna sue you because you didn't go through the BIA and this association for powwow, and they have to, you know, these type of things."
Did you tell them to kick rocks?
Oh yeah, I told them. I can't say what I told them, you know what I mean? But oh yeah, I gave it to them, you know, fuck you and your mama. But and we still had our event. We know that there a lot of them, you know, they're still psychologically brainwashed and wanting to be accepted, you know, by people who really don't want them. And if they do, you're gonna be second or third class, you know, citizen to them. Me, my family were chiefs of the tribe. I'll show this real quick, and I'm gonna bounce off. Let me see. I'm up, OG.
Yeah. Bam. You up?
Okay. So this right here, this is the white leagues. So they, once the Union came down south after the Civil War Reconstruction, they didn't have the ability to, even come close in the voting. So they brought out KKK, White League, Red Shirts, different, you know, organizations to detract people from voting. Well, right here in this old newspaper, they talk about the White Leagues and the Democratic clubs, right? And they compose the same individuals under different designations. Now in Louisiana, the same political spirit and motive, they recognize the fact that only avenue to control the federal offices is through the ballot box. And if the colored citizens cannot be included to vote for the democracy, they must be deprived of the exercise of their franchise. Now, a prominent Louisiana journalist coming out of Natachoochee, the editor of the 2 columns in Lent, addressed to our colored citizens. He say, white people failed to carry the state election this fall. This delivery and undeliverable. Again, in the same paragraph we read, let it be distinctly remembered that you have fair warning that we intend to carry the state of Louisiana in November next, or she will be a military territory. Now, who are they talking to? Because they calling them Negroes and all of this here. Well, they come down there, they go to Crescent City Democratic Club, and the Negro proved them, and they're going to come down there. So you have something that's called the Coshada Massacre. I'm from the coast side, but after the reorganization, they called it Coshada. So they changed the name. Right here, this is the site, Coshada Indian Village, 1800. Chief Red Shoes, Chief Mingo. This is my second great grandma on the oldest reservation in Texas. Her family were the chiefs. So, yeah, so right here, the third band of Indians was Chief Mingo's, the area where the Mingos live. That's us. And you can see her with draped and drip and that real Indian garb right there with her pearls on. Now they have a casino. The state of Texas owed them money, really owe us the money. In return, they let them have gaming rights for a casino. Well, in the casino, these are the pictures of the original people, not the people down there. Well, they got half of East Texas, and today they only own 3 miles. So they got free in all these programs, but they were never able to make nothing of it. After Reconstruction, we had towns flourishing all throughout, from the Carolinas, the Midwest, all through here, Wilmington, You know, we had Oklahoma, Texas. I mean, yeah, we had sanctuaries everywhere. And when the Great Depression hit, September 4th,
Peace,
Great
brothers.
Depression hit, they a lot of those people were in trouble. We were outside the economic system of the U.S., so it didn't matter to us. We were still running our numbers, still running our hooch, you know, doing prohibition because you know we make the best Baton Rouge, White Lightning, whatever you need. You know that progenitors. Yeah, that's why Granny had so many kids back then, 17 kids.
Nah,
Granddad
Yeah.
hooch, yes, but now on a real note, yeah, we see coming into the 20th century as that start to change. As I showed earlier, those new constitutions coming out in the 70s, such as the Creek, 1979, they create a new constitution, reconstitute it, and kick out all of the so-called Negroes or freedmen in it. When we're the only one have interest in the land, as it says on the 1866 treaty, that also says no man can ever come and create a law to change this bars. And that's why
yes,
that's
sir.
one of the greatest tools right there, that they can never come back and change it by law.
Mm-hmm.
Before you go, Top Cat, so would you say that we need to reconstruct the tribes if like the Cherokees and the Creeks is, you know, still a part of the government body? How do we go about that?
All right, so you have something called federal recognition, you have something called state recognition. State recognition is what a lot of people go for because it's easier. But there's steps you have to take, such as 10 years of showing that you have interacted with a indigenous community. You know, toy drives, you might donate, you know, you might do a can drive, y'all might go down, you know, things of this nature. And then the state will recognize it, and most people leave from there and try to go get the federal recognition, which is the funds and things come with it. Me personally, a lot of these things don't fit us. If we're gonna get anything, we would have to go to the treaties, because a lot of our people signed treaties. There's no such thing as a Native American, Mongolian, or anybody sitting down making a treaty until later. I'll show y'all that in that slide right there. And those were treaties because the Buffalo Soldiers just kicked your ass. And so, nigga, you lost. And so you finna go get put on this reservation. Every Native American tribe on the reservation is there because the result of loss in battle against the Buffalo Soldiers. Period, point blank. Bear Valley Creek was the last one. 25 years, and we cleaned them up. U.S. never had another problem after. So, what I would say is, we really don't need the tribes. You know, tribe is your family. You know, back then, you know, they having 10 children, 17, 15 children, 18 children, you know, and then the sister got 10. The brother got 10, you know, we had big families, and then we got 300 acres, and you know, we got a lot of family members. So our tribes were our families. You know, they didn't even consider us tribes. That was plain Indians. We were always known as chieftains, you know, or they'll know you by your name. If you're in the neighborhood, you got big families in the neighborhood. Oh, them the Johnsons over there. They fashion track, football. They can fight. Yeah, they're jumping. Yeah. So that's more of our culture. So what I say is economics before the politics, because if we can get the people on board and we have our paperwork, who we are, and we can prove that, once we get the money, we can create our own thing, because the status is in America. More signs, you know, some of the more people use it, but there are statuses here. Got other charters that use it as well. Like I said earlier, you know, churches, mega churches, and things like this here. They use these as statuses. You have something called the Northern Cherokee. There's nowhere in history ever been a Northern Cherokee. But during COVID, they got over $100 million out of government contracts, grants that they don't have to pay back. And they start off as a 501c3. And they're holding land through Alabama, Kansas, Missouri. But this is not a real tribe. These are some people that got together, understood the loopholes that was created, and took advantage of it. No different than when Castro and them closed down the casinos in Cuba. Well, what did? They needed a plan to get tobacco, alcohol, firearms, and gambling in America. So they used the status, created charters, and used the status of Native Americans, which would bring them outside the jurisdiction of the U.S. And now you have Hard Rock casinos, and what the symbols say, money falling out our back pockets. But we know that the Jews get fat and move to Miami. So these YT people in these small hats cleverly got together, and now they're able to have gaming institutions here and be outside the jurisdiction and have their tobacco, have their alcohol, have their gaming system.
Yeah, I feel that. No, I appreciate the love, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, Top Cat.
What's up, OG?
What's up, big bro? Listen, man. I put up a couple of pictures for you, man. Down there in your city, man. Where you go check. There you go. That's one right there in Houston. Yeah.
Okay. What part? What was it, like an old reservoirs? What area?
Well, you know what? I had to go. I found it, man. Because I had it took it off one flash drive, man, and you don't make me go back into these flash drives, and I don't know which one is which.
It's all good.
I get it, but there's the other one right there. You see that step pyramid?
Yeah, Houston down here we have what's called Bayou. We're the Bayou City. A lot of the Takapak, Carunquas, different nations was down here. And you have a lot of mound sites down here, and all down, they built these canals and bayous and things like that for travel. We sit right off the, in Galveston, 45 minutes, 30 minutes outside of Houston. We sit right on the water, which was one of the most important commercial international trade. International trade from Galveston to the Yucatan, New Orleans. Houston has one of the largest ports in the world, the Houston Ship Channel. And so things of this nature here, we do see large mounds here. Like downtown, they have Sam Houston on the horse, and he's pointing. And he's pointing at this huge mound. And so, we'll go out there, people exercise. They'll go out there ground and they have a theater there, but it's a historical site, and Sam Houston is pointing directly at it. Yeah, Sam Houston Cherokee came down here from Tennessee.
Yeah, and see, well, I don't know if the distinction is made between which ones are mounds and which ones are actually pyramids. But I found out where it's actually at. But here's the other one here. So they very diametric in their design, and if you notice that for the most part that the public doesn't have access to them.
Right. This look like Pasadena, southeast area right here.
Well, I can find out the exact location. I just got to go. I'm
almost sure that this is where it's at. Out their way is where you had the Battle of San Jacinto. These are wars that were won. See that once they got control of that area, Battle of San Jacinto. So you're gonna get a large port. This is in the center of a port. Then once you're moving out further, you're gonna have the water and the different like lakes and streams. Well, these all connected to larger, and you see sites like this here. This means large communities was around here or trade ports. But yeah, they've taken this, and I mean, people are catching cancer. People, the water is bad out there. I mean, these things catch on fire all the time. But yeah, it sits right off the water, and they wouldn't have won that revolution if they wouldn't have got that area right there. So yeah, that's like it's close to the San Jacinto river area, down going towards like Baytown in that area, down I-10 to Pasadena area, going toward Pasadena area.
Yeah, most of them is I'm gonna pull up this last one here because it's actually I'm gonna pull it up. Give me a second, brother. Yeah, man, I would have jumped on here earlier, man, but I was still rolling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was following along while y'all was talking. I see the brother Morocco was on, and the other sister with the Haitian roots was on here. Okay, here you go. So this right here, Top Cat is let me get this right quick. Here you go. Okay. Sometimes this computer's slow, man. Okay, here we go. We got it now. Yeah. All right. So this right here, let me take this one off of here, so maybe have a little more room here. So here you go, right here. So this right here, as you can see, is what you were just speaking of in those regards. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, here's a cluster of them right here. So it's so many of them, I lost count, but I would just say on the estimation, maybe about 40.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the one that I just showed you, the couple I just showed you is down at the left, where you see that the step pyramid with the black thing in it. But all of these were pyramids right here that they destroyed. Even the ones that are sitting over here in the water, and right here, right there. So it's probably clustered right here together, man. About a good 40 or 50 of them, bro.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's going towards that area I was just speaking about. Yeah, once you get down there, everybody know they in it, because that's where all the Zydeco in. That's why all the good pit masters, they can smoke their meat. They country, they eating coon, they eating turtle soup, they eating possum soup. Yeah, they still hunting. It's the best area to go fish. The seafood real cheap out there, or you can go out there and I learned how to fish out there. So yeah, that's going towards the east, head towards Louisiana. But this is where a lot of the battles went down there. Yeah.
So that mean there's a lot of our ancestors' bones and spirits.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Because that's why they start putting a lot of those plants up. And they start putting a lot of, when you go back that way, all plants. Like, I mean, smoke blowing out, it's just the worst condition to live in. Back in the game, they had a big explosion happened at a plant, and it's historical neighborhoods around it, and it sit right off the ship channel. And they had to pay out so much money to a lot of them people. So when we were in school, it happened. But as they got 18, they were able to get a check. They got their check for that. The children that was affected by it.
Yeah, that sort of is similar. What took place, where I grew up in Chicago, but as I grew older, I realized that they were digging up some ancestors' bones over there, because it stinks so bad, man. All the way from 130th, where the Calumet River is, to I don't know, man, possibly the Grand Crossing. That, man, you could close your windows, man, and that smell was coming through there. I even got a picture of a sister that was out there in the Argyle Garden Projects, and you could see the mist in the air, and she got her face covered up, her nose and her mouth with a handkerchief. But as I got older and started doing the research and looking around the area, they were most definitely digging up corpses from over in that particular area at that time.
Yeah, I was saying something earlier, Horse, about how they be transferring graves and tombstones. Even when you're looking up, doing your genealogy and all that, they'll tell you, well, this grave was moved to such and such church, or this to another site.
Yeah, I heard you mention that, but I think that I cut off because I know that you were commenting on something that was said, and I'm like, I've never even thought about that, man. But they transferring graves, that's deep, man.
Yeah, like Houston, they talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma. My family member actually is the lawyer who came back and got Black Wall Street back built. So
shout out to him.
So his son, John Hope Franklin, was his son, and so they had a park named after him. He's one of the he was Boulay. He was one of the #1 top Negro scholars. But yeah, John Hope Franklin, his daddy ended up Buck. He ended up getting Black Wall Street back rebuilt. I'll be in Oklahoma next year, speaking out there in Tulsa, because I still have family out there. But in Houston, 1921, same time, there was a large riot with the Buffalo Soldiers down here. So yeah, a lot of people don't know about that. You got Waco, you got Beaumont, and see the area, the picture that you put up, going back that area, yeah, those areas, Beaumont, all of the small towns, all of those were raided. Back. So yeah, against racist white people, but yeah, 1921. So you had something with Buffalo Soldiers down on the border of Mexico, as we were speaking about earlier. Well, they moved those bones of the Buffalo Soldiers, so like Brownsville, Texas, and things like this, right on the border of Mexico and Texas. They moved those bones of those soldiers and moved them to Louisiana because they didn't want our people going back down there to venerate and have ceremony and visit their ancestors. The government paid to have those bodies removed from the border of Texas and removed to Louisiana. Wow. That's how cold it is. That's how cold it is.
Hey, you Top Cat, you familiar with Stephenville, Texas?
What part of Texas is it?
Well, that's because I just left there 2 days ago, and it's about I want to say an hour and a half from Dallas.
Oh, okay, you going up north then?
It's you know what? I came from Dallas and I went through Fort Worth, so it's on the other side of Fort Worth.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
I was just down there, but so they got some mound pyramids over there that look like the Appalachians over in that area.
Yeah, you going into the hills and everything when you got Dallas, like Houston, we straight line. I know you're a trucker too, man. I come out the truck game too. My daddy 27 years in the truck game, so yeah, I know you chasing them white lines too. So, yeah. But that allowed me to see how beautiful this country was as well. But yeah, I actually learned to drive up there, man, through driving school. They put me on 35 and took me through them hills and all that, trying to get me ready and adjusted to the mountains. And I'm like, I didn't even know all of this was up here, But yeah, once you start going up there in North Texas, you hitting them the mounds, them hills. Yeah, they even got neighborhoods out there named after that, Holly Hills and different things like that. Yeah. So
hey, well, it's one thing I will say: Texas is the shiznit.
Oh yeah. They say don't mess with Texas. Yeah, this is the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, I
all
like
the Indians came. Yeah, if you gonna fight, go to Texas. If you can make it to Texas, you're gonna be free. Or you're gonna have some real good shooters, some of the fastest hands in the West. And so through that, you're gonna get that connection to Kansas through the cattle boom. As the first cowboys, 1855, they document them coming out the Houston area. And so we're gonna see them through taking the cattle to Kansas through the cattle boom and all of that, taking them up there to Kansas. You see this type of thing. Missouri, Oklahoma, Yeah, going through a lot of those places.
Right.
I went to church school in a place called Waxahachie, Texas. Waxahachie is nothing but Indian. Everywhere you go in there is Indian. All the stores they selling dream catchers and all Indian accessories and things like that.
Yeah, that's the first time I seen something like that.
Oh, it's huge too, and you see it at the truck stop too. What truck stop you at?
Well, you know what though? That's not my picture, so I don't know where that came from. I think Donnie may have pulled that one up.
Okay. Look at a little Missouri or something. Yeah, but yeah, I seen a lot of those going up in those areas.
That's from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
That's from
I noticed too,
man.
man. From moving around in a lot of these areas where these so-called Indians are at, that when you come into their places where they are, they look at you funny.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I went to take a piss in Kansas. I stopped in Kansas. I went in there. I'm jumping up and down. They only got one restroom. I gotta go. I look up. It's a sign say no colors allowed.
Wow.
Or yeah.
Wow. You should have photographed that one.
I looked around the room to see, nobody was giving me no eye contact and that. I went outside and pissed outside the truck. I said, fuck it.
Yeah, no, when you said that,
it's crazy how somebody will steal your identity and treat you like that while they are impostoring as you.
Yes.
Right.
Big Chief, do you know any Floyds? William Fluke wants to know if you know any Floyds.
Oh, yeah, I went to school with some Floyds. Yeah. But they from Texas, though. East Texas, Jefferson, Texas, Kilgore, Jacksonville, that area.
Nah, that's lit, man. Now, when you say you seen the no color sign, I instantly thought of Martin and Eddie on Life when they was trying to get them pies.
Oh yeah, nah, it was a similar situation. Yeah. I looked around though. I wanted to get some eye contact. Nobody paid me no mind though. They would have said something. Ain't no telling what would have happened. But I looked around to see was it any type of funny looks. Wasn't nobody paying me no mind.
No, for real.
Yeah, I just walked back to the truck and they got them cornfields out there. So I just got low. But that road something else, like especially going in. I was in Wyoming. And I'm at this restaurant, if that's what you want to call it. The pills are outside. You got to pull the string. You go outside. They got it like built cowboy style. And so I asked the lady, waiting my pancakes. I'm like, "What's the Wi-Fi code?" She said, "Wi-Fi, honey, you in the twilight zone."
Yeah.
In the twilight zone.
No, for real.
All right, well, Big Chief, we're going to wrap this thing up for the night. Mafia Shakur, any final thoughts before we get up out of here?
Man, I want to say just keep pushing the information, man. American Indians, Donnie Glover Show. Make sure you tune in when we live.
Wells?
Blessings and peace to all. Thank you so much, Big Chief, legendary Top Cat. That was on point. And let our education continue because it's a deep dive.
Hannibal James, Detroit.
Yes, sir. I appreciate tonight's conversation. I was really informed by Top Cat's his information he was spreading out. And I like the fact that he was talking about the Cushadas in Alabama. That's my connection too. We stayed behind like us. Now I see you guys went out to Texas. Quick question. Do you know anything about a county called Rusk County, Texas? R-U-S-K?
Yes, sir. Rusk County.
So I know that the people that enslaved my kin took some creeks out there.
Okay, yeah. Most of them out there tell you that they you got a lot of shock ties, or they'll tell you got some creeks. Cause they were coming down out of Arkansas. They got family in Arkansas and Oklahoma. I'm sorry, but yeah, Rusk County. I'm very familiar with Rusk County. I had to go upstate, what they call it, up north, Yeah, they sent me up there, Rusk County.
I know that Rusk County got some deep Alabama ties.
Yeah, see, Chief Bowles came down for the Cherokee came out of Tennessee, and he brought the Cherokee to Texas.
Is that Duwally? Are you talking about Duwally?
Chief Bowles.
Chief
Yeah, so y'all follow this site, Historical Indigenous Sites, on Instagram, on our platforms. Brother out of Fort Worth area, DF Dub, he just went to Chief Bowles' site, and there you have big stones. Like I said, Indian burial, they'll use stones instead of they use stones, and then you have a map. You walk 6 feet here, you turn here, and this is how the maps work. So, but Chief Bowles, these rocks, and they had Alabama on there. They had all those different tribes. They got Kashada. They got all those different tribes on those stones right there in Chief Bowles. Chief Bowles gave Sam Houston a sword. That same sword, after the fight, he left them. He used William Goins out of Nacogdoches with Stephen F. Austin and them universities. That he used the people that came out of the area of Rusk County, and he came down to Livingston when my family spoke for them. So I can play a clip of my aunt in her 60s. She's talking about how Sam Houston used to come over to the house down in Livingston. Like I said, we in 1855, my family, 2 of my ancestors signed for that location because it had the best. The trees had the best oxygen in the world there, and they're agriculture people. They also built wells, and they were shipbuilders. They were seafarers as well. So, Chief Bowles, and then down in Livingston, you had Jasper around that area. They had a trading post down there. So a lot of the Indians came together to fight down there. And Sam Houston came by my house, Chief Mingo, and he liked the Miami too, but he wanted my family to keep the Indians out of the fight. And once the fight was over, he came back and ran Chief Bowles and them out of there. So yeah, Sam put a knife in their back. The same sword Chief Bowles gave him.
Wow.
That's how it go.
Mm-hmm. And Sam Houston was a melanated brother that looked like us as well. I want to throw that out there.
Did not know that.
The nickname was the Raven.
Wow. Big horse.
I gotta come back, and I see you got things of Martin Luther King. Man, I have so much information on things like that. Him having Irish origin, the connection between him and JFK in 1960, they came through. His family records going back, his grandpa being the president of the NAACP. I mean, we can go back to they had the largest plantations. We can go back to where they changed their name. The name wasn't originally King. They were Branhams. 1832, his great grandfather came here from Ireland. In Ireland, in the Irish newspaper, they claim Martin Luther King is their own. The connection in 1960, when Martin went to jail, and everybody got except him. He on probation. RFK called his wife, and they joined it. And so that's when his dad came in and said he'll follow JFK to the end. But the connection, yes, through the brotherhood, but also through bloodline as well. Another one for us, how anthropology wrote over our story. I did a lecture on that, and if we ever get some time, I'd love to, for us to present that lecture over here. I did it on another channel. I don't know if the brother felt it, appreciated it, or had the affinity that we do for that type of knowledge. But I gave him something that was better than 24 karat gold, and I don't think he appreciated it for what it was.
Topcats, did you ever imagine doing this?
No, sir. I had no clue, never. The only reason why I did it when I first came, what I was saying, I feel like none of the other people that were saying they were Indian, it was different ways. They were mixing it. They were Hebrews, Egypt in America. It was just wild, crazy, and most of the Eastern Woodland Indians kind of controlled the narrative. And so wasn't too many people into genealogy, if they were, they didn't find them, they didn't see themselves in the story, So I think I brought a whole different understanding to it. I really wanted to just stick on my family, 5 civilized tribes in my area, but I felt like it wasn't proper representation nowhere across the board. And the fact that since I didn't want to join anybody, they was like, all right, we're gonna blackball him. Don't say his name, don't do, what I'm saying, stay away from him. And I'm here today, but that's what made me say I ain't going nowhere. Y'all, I ain't going.
That's a fact.
And I had never, ever thought I'd be doing this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm here. My aunt. So that picture of my great grandma, my second great grandma, she stopped me in 2012, and she gave me that picture, and she told me she needed me to know this. She also says on the thing when she was 17 that her grandma brought her and her cousin from Louisiana in to go in the grave sites, write down all the names, come back, and she told them the stories and the connections, their family, children, all of this. She kept those records still to this day. That land, once she did the session, she went and bought all of the family members that had it, that had an option, to sell. She said, them Negroes will sell it to me, they'll sell it to their white man. So she bought it all to keep it all in the family. But, she told me to, this is what I got. And if you don't see it in your lifetime, hopefully your daughter see it in her lifetime. So I'm on fast forward right now, trying to get as much as I've done. So when my daughter or the next generation come up, they don't have much to do, So I'm still shocked, you know what I'm saying, that I made it this far, by myself. Yeah. And with the help of others that believe in me,
Please give a shout out to Candy Bar. She says, I'm not black, I'm Indian, Chief Top Cats.
Go get the book that's called The Indian Bible. I'm not black, I'm Indian, the miseducation of Black Americans. Yeah.
Excellent.
19 Keys, he was real quick before we leave. He was getting prepared to do his show. So we backstage, and he read the back of the book, read the table contents, got some of the introduction, and when he came out to the stage, he said, I want to talk about identity. Do we know who we are? Have we been given our identity? And I thought that was real deep. I ain't want to interrupt his studies, but just off of the small little glimpse that he read. And then he had someone come outside and say, hey, Key said, can you go to the house and bring all of them books back? All of the books you got, though, bring them back. Yeah. So shout out to 19 Keys now. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, y'all go check that out. I'm not black, I'm Indian. The website. I had lectures, that I don't bring out into the public, over 100. Yeah, and if you look at my YouTube channel, that's surface level. I got some stuff back, in the vault.
I already know you hold. And you know what I mean? You don't use all your artillery in one battle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
B-Bo. Shout out to B-Bo. And I'm coming up there next year, so y'all be ready. We're going to do a workshop or something. I'll be in Maryland. You got my word. I'm going to D.C., so I might have Dan Calloway with me. Homecoming.
All right, Horace, come on, bring it on home.
All right. Let me pull this demonstration up right quick.
Take us out with the libations, if you will, please, sir.
Yes, sir, brother. No problem. Okay. I want to start by honoring the Honorable Prophet Noble Ali, the Great Queen Nitha, the Honorable Empress Radayasi, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, Dr. Delbert Blair, the Honorable Taj Tariq Bey, and Dr. G, the Honorable Dr. Claude Anderson, Chief Redbird, Chief Warhorse, Dr. Francis C. Wilson, Dr. Ari Khanna, Sister Shahrazad Ali, Mama T, Vicky Dillard, Sister Myra, Dr. Joy DeGroove, Patrice Lumumba, Professor PLO Lumumba, C. Freeman Hill, Dr. King, Jay Guevara, Most Honorable Dr. Malakazi York, Omali Yashatila, Julius Malema, President Ibrahim Traore, the beloved brother Bobby Hemmett, Honorable Reverend Phil Valentine, Nellie Fuller, Fred Hampton, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Anthony T. Browder, Professor James Small, Rod Hayes, Steve Coakley, 19 Keys, Billy Carson, Dane Calloway, Karimo Ahua, Rizza Islam, the legendary Top Cats, Dr. Sebi, Layla Ha'o Africa, Yaki Awakening, King Randall, Magic 363, the big brother Donnie Glover for providing us with this platform to reach our people, the most honorable Planet Wells, the beloved brother Hannibal James, the young and wise, intelligent brother Mafia Shakur, and all of our viewers who are down with us 100%.
And Harris Lee the fourth, I say.
And Horace Lee the fourth.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it,
Absolutely.
brother. Appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man. As always.
Yes, sir. Peace,
I
family.
don't really go on too many people's shows. I don't go on too many people's shows.
Yeah, you home with us, bro.
Tell him, Mafia. Tell him what you told me, Mafia.
You home with us, bro. This is your comfort zone.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
If y'all know, I don't go on many shows. You know, I stay at the house, but
yeah, we appreciate you, bro.
I'm with the elders. You know,
this your home. You got home field advantage over here. You feel me?
Yeah, right, man. And so that's why I keep coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Tell them about the 22nd, Top Cats.
Okay, November 22nd. November 22nd, 11/22, Faith, Foundation American Indigenous Day. So we bringing out all of the people. Some like you brought up Taj Tariq Bey. Like people like that, he's gonna be down there. They coming down. We're gonna have Abdullah El Bey gonna be in the building. It's gonna be a lot of speakers. They ain't Callaway. I can go on red pill, blue pill, mama pill. I mean, the list is huge. But we have an Indigenous Day, and if you're coming under FBA, Solon, Moors, Americans, anybody that's here from the American diaspora, and they're speaking for American diaspora. At the end of the day, we are all if we are all heading toward the same destination. We might be going in different directions, but long as we gonna meet up at that crossroad and on that mountaintop, I have no problem. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I draw my sword and fight on the side of any one of them brothers to protect this and what we are building. And so this is an effort just to bring out the largest gathering of indigenous people, you know, here in America. It's our fort, you know. It's gonna be our fort. It's gonna be our 19th group trip, but it'll be our fort homecoming. And just instead of holding it just for ourselves, we're gonna open it up to all the indigenous Americans out there, and we got a large response. So it's gonna be a lot of people down here, Houston, Texas. We're gonna bring out the culture. We're gonna definitely bring out the good food. I know. I hope y'all wives ain't listening. I hope they let y'all come. Houston do have the most beautiful women in the U.S. I don't want nobody to get in trouble. I'm just warning y'all. If y'all come down here, yeah, you're coming in. Yeah, there's 5 to 1 down here. But we're gonna have a good time, man. And it's gonna be good to meet OG Donnie. He gonna present me with something. And I can't just let the OG come present me with an award without I present him with one too.
No, man.
Yeah, and salute to this whole indigenous series that you having and tapping in.
We have.
Okay, there you go. And much respect to all the brothers here.
One of the
let's get that. Let's
get
that Million Matriarch March, man, and get to one of these pyramids and have them sisters to get up there and do them rain dances, man, so we can change the frequency of this planet.
Now that's what I'm super with it. You know, we can throw a little extra in there too. And this is something I got from Chief Pontiac, shout Rod Hayes, about throwing, you know how they do the Mardi Gras, the Caribbean Mardi Gras, and they just we used to do that down here, Mobile, Alabama, Florida, all through the Southeast, the Gulf Coast. That was our culture. So they still hold those Mardi Gras and things today, Galveston, New Orleans, Super Sunday, things like this here. So yeah, I'm with it. And the attire, I'm pretty sure our women, they love to dress up in their feathers, you know, like at the Cotton Club, like different things like this here. Yeah, granddaddy put the feather in his cap, and yeah, he got the peace pipe, and you know, all the signs been there. So yeah, it'll be great to see the matriarch come. Without the matriarch, there is no movement. You know what I'm saying?
There is none.
There's no movement without the matriarch. And
that's right.
You know, coming from indigenous perspective, we are matrilineal. That's why if your parents are not married when they conceive you, you usually get your mother's name. Yeah, because that's matriarch. You're usually a part of your mother's clan or your mother's tribe. You will be raised under your uncles or you know, or that side of the family. Your dad too, you know, but you know, we're matrilineal people. So yeah, I'm down with it. OG, I want to get them out there in them feathers though. Y'all probably can't see it, but I can see it. Y'all ladies, we're gonna put this together and we want y'all to put them feather suits on. The Mardi Gras Indians will be in Houston as well. They're gonna be second lining, or they're gonna have their Mardi Gras feathers on out there dressed like the Aztecs. And used to do since they be put them on side of the Aztec, put them on side of those old ancient Mayan pictures and things, and you'll see the same dress code.
The same thing. And you know, and Donnie, another thing I forgot to mention, you know, when I speak of Noble Drew Ali, if you look at one of his I can't think if it's the one-on-ones, but he got a woman in his arms. You hear me, Donnie? He got a woman in his arms, and then he got 1 foot in the land and 1 foot in the water, and written on the woman is humanity. So now the people don't know that that's the matriarch that he uplifting out of the maritime admiralty law and putting her back on the land as an indigenous matriarch.
So for the people that find this a bit challenging to digest, I would say this:
keep coming back.
It's your attachment to a mode of thinking that you've grown up with and lived with. And I would say that there's an old adage that says that the pursuit of truth is similar to peeling an onion. Every layer can cause you to cry, but keep going. Just keep going.
That's right.
Going to the core.
Yes, sir.
Hey, y'all, these right here some of my books. This is probably my top seller. This is my first one. American
Bloodline of the Gods of Civilization.
Yeah, and right here, this is the Indian Bible right here. I'm not black, I'm Indian. Now, this is something I ain't dropped yet. I got it, but I ain't dropped it. But shout out to the OG because he made me think of it. Let me see. All right, you see how they dress? I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We want the ladies to come out and come down. And this is called The Untold History of the True American Indians Reclaiming Identity and Legacy. So I'll be
brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that book is, I got it already ready. I'll drop it when we do the fade. So we can do book signing and things.
Hey man, I believe, man, if we get the matriarchs out there like that, and they hit that right frequency, man, that we gonna feel the earth shake.
There you go.
We can get. I'm gonna get started on organizing something like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna be in touch with OG. He got my number. You know, I'm one phone call away, man.
Yes, sir.
And shout out to y'all. Y'all be cool. Enjoy the rest of y'all evening, man. Appreciate y'all for being great, strong men and examples for this generation and the generations to come, because these wise words that y'all put on here these messages y'all bring is really touching and affecting people. That's why they're still coming back every day. And just to have endurance, to do it every day, you feel me? Their purpose, you know what I mean, is changing lives. Some people haven't, this has become a comfort zone for some people. I see even the Jaguars in here, BCU people, they come over in that OG County shot of GI top cat. I was like, yeah, that's on. Yeah, people is on. So shout out to the appreciate y'all making this a safe space for like you said, for indigenous people to come on and reclaim our identity, just like the book says, and legacy.
Absolutely.
Peace, yeah. Peace, bro.
Shout out to Top Cats.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Top Cats, y'all.
Peace, my brothers. I'll be hollering at y'all,